Welcome to this lesson on kites and trapezoids. When you open up the lesson page, you should have your kite notes where there are three main ideas with a kite that you should recognize. First, in a kite, the side lengths, these two sides and the two longer sides, they are always equal in every kite that exists. A special property is property number one. It says the diagonals are perpendicular, meaning that they cross in the middle. So these diagonals cross at a 90-degree angle. The second special property is that one set of opposite angles are congruent. So in any kite, this angle here and this angle on the right, those angles are equal. And the third property is the horizontal diagonal gets cut in half. That means this horizontal diagonal gets cut in half, meaning it's the same length on the left side as it is on the right. Let's dive into a couple examples. Example 1, given the kite, find x and y. In this example, I'm trying to find an angle measure. So if I think back to my properties, diagonals cross at a 90-degree angle. I think that might help me in this triangle. That tells me that this angle right here is 90 degrees. 90 degrees, it's 90 degrees everywhere. It helps me in the triangle because now I have a triangle that's 30 degrees up here, 90 degrees here, and I know that if I add all three angles in a triangle, they add to 180 degrees. So to solve this equation, I'm going to subtract the 120 on both sides, and I know that my angle measure is 60 degrees. Now we can apply this property. The opposite angles are congruent. So by that would tell me that this angle over here is 60 degrees. It matches up with the y, so that means x has to be 30 degrees. Okay, example 2. Given the kite ABCD, we want to find x. I want to use this property. Opposite angles are congruent. So I know that if I add this angle here, it's going to be equal to this angle. So we have 40 plus 7x minus 12. That's that full angle. We know it's going to be equal to 68 plus 2x plus 15. And now we just go to solve. So we've got, let's see, 7x plus 28 is going to equal 2x. 68 plus 15 be 83. I'll subtract 2x on both sides. Be left with 5x plus 28 equals 83. Subtract 28 on both sides. You get 5x equals 55. Divide by 5. And x equals 11. Example 3. It says given kite ABCD, DE equals 4x plus 10. That's this side length. BE equals 2x plus 22. That's this side length. And AE equals 8x minus 9. That's the vertical AE. Well, I don't know anything about any properties that deal with that portion of the diagonal, but I do know that in a kite, these two sides are equal. Therefore, I could set up DE is equal to BE. So we'd have 4x plus 10 equals 2x plus 22. and we'll solve. So we'll subtract 2x on the both sides. So we get 2x plus 10 equals 22. Take away 10 from both sides to get 2x equals 12. And x equals 6. Now we use that, now that we know what x is equivalent to, it says we want to find the length of AE. Well, if I know that it's 8x minus 9, I can plug in and replace the x with a 6. To solve, we get 8 times 6 is 48, minus 9. AE gives us a length of 39. All right, trapezoids. We know that diagonals in an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. We know it's an isosceles trapezoid tells us that the base angles are equal and the top angles are equal. Our mid-segment theorem, this is something you should have had written down. To find the length of a mid-segment, we add the bases. So base 1, AB, plus base 2, DC, and we cut it in half. Okay, example 1. We want to find the measure of angle C. In a trapezoid is a four-sided figure. So if you remember our formula, n minus 2 times 180, four-sided figure, 4 minus 2 times 180, it's going to give us 2 times 180. A four-sided figure, the angles add up to 360 degrees. We know we have two right angles, so we know that this is 90 plus angle B is 32 minus 4x. We can add angle C, 34x plus 28, and we know that it's going to equal 360 degrees. Let's combine like terms. So 90, 90, 32, and 28. That would leave us with 240. Negative 4x plus 34x. That would leave us with 30x plus 240 equals 360. Subtract 240 on both sides. 360 minus 240 gives us 30x equals 120. Divide by 30, and x equals 4. Since we know that x equals 4, we can plug it in to figure out the measure of angle angle C. So we got 34 times x plus 28. 34 times 4 equals 136 plus 28. Angle C equals 164 degrees. Okay, in this trapezoid, if we know that these are parallel, we know this represents an isosceles trapezoid, where these top angles are equal. So that means if we're supposed to find x is equal to 100 degrees. We know that the base angles are also equal. And if we add up all four angles, they add up to be 360 degrees. So if we add the 100 degrees plus this 100 degrees, so that's the top two angles. And then we can have two of these. I can either add those twice. Yeah, 4y plus 30. Plus, I know it's the same thing. It's 4y plus 30. And this is to help us find our y. So if we add those up, the four angles in a trapezoid add to 360. So now we just have to combine like terms. So it looks like we'll have 8y plus 260 equals 360. Subtract 260 on both sides to solve. So it equals 100 to divide by 8. We get y equals 100 divided by 8, 12.5. Last example is using our mid-segment theorem to find the mid-segment. So to find x, we have to add up our bases. So base 1 could be the 30, plus base 2 is our 20, and we cut that in half. Means the mid-segment would be the length of 25.